Blessing stood by the window, her eyes sparkling with anticipation as she gazed at the faint glow of the city lights. For the first time in her life, she felt like she was on top. Jacinta, once so proud and distant, now groveled at her feet, begged to buy her wares, and hung onto her every word. Her confidence was a flame that burned brighter with each passing day. She had Seb, the man everyone admired, and she was determined to make him hers in every sense of the word. The official Mrs. Imo, that title, echoed in her mind, filling her with a sense of triumph. The only thing standing between her and ultimate happiness was time, and Elsa, the woman Seb would have to divorce. Blessing dismissed the thought with a shake of her head. She would stick to Seb like glue, ensuring no one and nothing could remove her from his life. It was during the 8 o'clock news bulletin on the car radio that Blessing heard the announcement. Chief Ndu-Aye was to receive an award as the best performing senator of the year. Seb, driving the car, muttered under his breath. His tone was laden with sarcasm and disdain. Brown envelopes must have changed hands for him to get that award, he said, gripping the steering wheel a little tighter. What piece of legislation has he ever sponsored that changed people's lives? A senator from the worst state in the country, worst roads, no capital projects, and yet here's the enablers giving him an award, a compelling symptom of self-deception disorder that's afflicted this country. Blessing listened, her eyes fixed on Seb's face. She barely registered his frustration. Her mind was already racing ahead, planning. Blessing shifted in her seat and spoke, her voice light but deliberate. No doubt there'll be a party when Chief Ndu-Aye gets back. All those politicians will be there. We'll be invited, Seb. They can make things happen for you. She leaned in, placing a hand on his knee. I need to start shopping for that party. Seb didn't respond. He kept his eyes on the road, his silence cutting through her excitement. But the lack of acknowledgement only fueled Blessing's determination. She smiled to herself, already imagining the connection she could make, the doors that would open. This was her moment, she thought. With Seb, she would ascend to heights she had only dreamed of. The title, the status, the parties, the wealthy politicians. It was all within reach. Blessing knew the road wouldn't be smooth. Elsa, the woman Seb had married and fathered children with, was still a looming figure in their story. Though far away in England, Elsa's presence was undeniable. The divorce would take time, and the legal process would be tedious. But none of that mattered to Blessing. Her resolve was ironclad. She would wait, she would strategize, and she would persevere. Seb was hers, and nothing, no person, no process, no circumstance would change that. She thought of herself as a speck of stubborn dirt, impossible to dislodge. Her grip on Seb was unwavering, her vision of their future unshakable. Back at home, Blessing stood before the mirror, her lips curving into a triumphant smile. She could already picture it, walking into the party as Mrs. Imo, the woman who had claimed the heart of the most admired man in town. Jacinta would watch in awe. The politicians would take notice, and Seb, her Seb, would be the key to her newfound world. As she adjusted her scarf, she whispered to herself, "Nothing will stop me."